from different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Hi,
I'm Beth.
I'm Tim.
I'm Jessica, and we're just your everyday
Methodist to the madness.
Hey guys, what's up? Just kidding. Tim's not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotta get the chapstick on.
Okay.
Hey Beth, how you doing?
I'm good, Jessica. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Tim?
I'm doing pretty well.
Great. Next, moving on to the next thing.
Beth, did you go on a fancy date with your significant other?
Yeah, we're wondering, in the camera here, Beth looks very good. So
This is Beth has started dressing up for the podcast recordings.
I'm wearing a shirt that says, I am awake. Please respect my privacy during this difficult time. This is the first shirt I made with the cricket. I don't look as fancy as they say I do, but I just got contact lenses instead of glasses.
Oh wow.
I'm wearing the ones that you can put in one time and then throw them away. They're the dailies. And she wanted I had an eye appointment on Friday and then Owen had one today. So she wanted me to wear them for 3 days in a row, to see if they were working okay. And now like my face just feels so exposed and I don't know. I feel like I can cover up my face with my glasses, but now there's just so much of my face showing. So I thought I'd try to put some makeup on to make my face less exposed, but I think it just makes it more exposed. It doesn't matter. There's weird stuff going on in my head.
No, I was actually gonna compliment you last night at the bowling alley because that's the best place to compliment people.
All those fluorescent lights, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I was just gonna say, I don't know what you did, but you were glowing last night.
Yeah.
Not just because you got magical strikes and spares, but
Thanks. It was just my exposed face, that's all.
Wow, that's like a confidence booster right there. Wow.
Yep. So just having trouble dealing with the fact that my face is just without glasses. And sometimes I'll like try to push up my glasses. There's no glasses there.
Oh, it's like looking at your wrist when you were supposed to have a wristwatch on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Anything else happening in your neck of the woods?
Oh, yes. I wanted to say that I got to hang out with both of my podcast hosts separately, but also equally. Just kidding. I mean, it was equally. I didn't mean to make it weird, but him and his mom actually showed up for quilting on Saturday. And I tried to teach Tim how to do a slip knot. I think we kind of got that.
Yeah.
I was trying to teach him how to chain with the crochet hook. And I think we kind of got that. But then I was like, it's easier than chaining with yarn, chaining with rubber bands. So I taught Tim how to make a chain.
Yeah, honestly, I had a blast doing the crocheting. I didn't even think I was going to like it as much as I did. Like, it is so much fun.
And that's awesome.
And then on yesterday, I sometimes go on the excursions with the youth group because Jonah, my younger son, will say to me, are you going? I'll go if you go. And so I went bowling with the youth group last night.
Oh, right.
And
It
saw
was awesome.
Jessica, and I was glowing apparently.
I would like to say that in the final game, I think you got second place, Beth, out of
really?
everybody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know that's not easy to do, actually.
Well, I got a 77. That was my score. So I feel like it's because we're not very good at bowling, any of us. So
you're the best of the group, though. So that's
second best.
Yes, second best. Yes,
Yep.
but you're in the top 3.
Who was first? Was it you, Jessica?
Was it you, Jessica?
For the second round, that is correct. I was first.
Caught up in suspense here.
So I always try when I bowl. My goal is always to get at least 100, and that's like 10 points a frame. And you need to get spares and strikes to do that. Otherwise you can't do it. And last time I was so close at 98 on my 10th frame.
Ooh,
yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You are 98 degrees and rising.
So I sort of wanted to hold off on saying this until the sermon feedback, but I just have to say something. You guys bowled, and Pastor Jim was talking about bowling being an excuse. Like,
now I know that I can use that as an excuse, and I'm going to start.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy bowling
playing the game
go to
of
work.
Life.
Yes.
Yeah. Those were pretty funny.
It was a lot of fun. I grew up bowling. I don't like to tell people this because then it makes it seem like I have to do really well. And I promise you, I'm not amazing at golf. See, this is where my life is at now. I'm not amazing at bowling. But
golf on the other hand.
Wow. Watch out, everyone. No, my dad would take my brother and I to our bowling league on Saturday mornings. And I think the only reason I enjoyed going was because I would get chocolate milk and donuts every Saturday. And that was very exciting. So I was like, yes, I will bowl every Saturday, sir. Because that's how I address my father is, sir. And anyways, and then I ended up, they have the Iowa Games, which is like the Olympics for the state of Iowa. And for my age group, I got second place.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And I got a trophy. Listen, but that's the extent of it. That's where it ends. That's it.
If I didn't know you, Jessica, and all I heard was that story about your bowling, I would have thought, yeah, Jessica probably has a career in this. She got second place.
I should have been more nervous to be on your team.
No, you should have been excited to be on the winning team.
Well, Jonah, I feel like I betrayed Jonah because he wanted me to be on his team. Anyway.
They did really well, though.
Yeah.
Owen and Jonah did really good.
Yeah. Owen used to bowl on a league, but he was like in first grade or second grade. Same as you.
Gotcha.
No, you both younger. Anyway, what else is happening, Jessica?
Well, that's a perfect segue.
That is perfect. Wow. Segue.
Let's roll on to Jessica.
Rolling on him.
Oh, wow.
Take us with some conversation.
Yeah.
If you can spare a minute.
Oh.
Okay.
Hey-o. Well, we struck out with pregnancy. So Operation OC commences mid-March. We're excited. We already booked the hotel, and we are going to stay a little closer to the ocean this time because I just want to bask in the sun and
like a lizard.
Get a good book.
Ooh.
And so we're kind of looking forward to it. I mean, it's not always exciting to have to keep trying, but we're trying to make the most out of it, you know? And so
definitely
the hotel we got has a really awesome coffee machine. And I think we're both mutually more excited about exploring that. And having awesome coffee in the morning with this magical machine and the free breakfast.
That sounds great. I would read a book called The Magical Machine and the Free Breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah. Sounds like a children's book. Yeah.
That's the name of the book Tim's writing.
Indeed. The first draft is percolating in my mind at this moment.
Percolating because it's a coffee maker.
But I did want to mention a really neat little story, and I'll say it very quickly. But the morning I knew that I found out that I was not pregnant, we both were a little emotional in our own ways, and kind of dealing with it in our own way. And there was a song that kind of like went in my mind, and it was called Rainbow by Casey Musgraves. And I don't know if you guys have heard that song before, but it's a song that I thoroughly enjoy. And what's interesting is that song was in my head, and I was playing it, as I was getting ready for the day, and then I was playing it as I was driving to work. And one of the lines of it is, when it rains, it pours, but you didn't even notice. It ain't raining anymore. It's hard to breathe when all you know is the struggle of staying above the rising water line. Well, the sky has finally opened, the rain and wind stopped blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your umbrella. Well, darling, I'm just trying to tell you that there's always been a rainbow hanging over your head. And I took that as, in my mind, that God is like the rainbow that's always over us and protecting us. And so I was like, not ugly crying on my way to work, but I was just like tearful, and I was like really just feeling God's love, just really saying like, all is well. And as I'm driving, guys, no joke, I look over and there is a rainbow. And as I'm listening to this song, and it was like, it was misting and the sun was shining through at the right moment, that this beautiful, it was a magical rainbow. And I got a little video of it. We do not recommend driving and utilizing your phone at the same time, as a disclaimer. And I just caught video of this, and it was just, I instantly just was at peace with everything. And it was really, really special. And I just could totally tell that things were going to be okay. And the last line in that song is, "It'll all be all right."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And so
the last line.
But that's so beautiful, Jessica, that you had such an incredible experience like that. Oh my gosh. And feeling God's love in that moment, and the song matching what you were actually seeing while you were looking out at the sky. That's so wonderful.
Yeah. It was really, really special. So I wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
So, but that's
Tim, how are you going to top that one?
I don't know. I was thinking about the chocolate milk, because you're talking about the bowling and how chocolate milk was your reward for doing a good job with bowling. So this is like what?
And a donut. Don't forget the donuts.
Oh, yeah, and the donut. Maybe the donut was more important than the chocolate milk. I'm not really sure. I think they're both pretty awesome. So, basically, that was a segue for me, because this is like a super delayed follow-up regarding delayed gratification. So I've come to the conclusion that I was looking at delayed gratification all wrong. I was focusing on the fact that I was not getting any rewards the entire time that I was delaying the gratification. And so therefore I was like not succeeding because of that. And so ultimately I came to the realization that I need to, like, kind of going back to what I was talking about before, look forward to the reward. And then this is a new insight. I need to try to limit micro rewards, like those things that, you know, like picking up your phone and just like checking some app or something, or like checking for a text message, or playing like a silly game for like 5 or 10 minutes or something. I think that all like kind of like trips me up, so to speak, regarding like sticking to the work or sticking to the achievement that I'm trying to like acquire. And so, yeah, it was kind of an interesting insight. And then I was also thinking that there's like two types of rewards: the like an indirect reward, like the chocolate milk and the donut, and you do the thing, or there's the direct reward, which is the completion of the task and gaining the benefits from completing that task. And so, so yeah, it was interesting, kind of like thought-provoking, like stuff that just experience in my life has kind of brought me to. Now I need to just like practice it effectively. And I think maybe if I try not to engage in those micro rewards, so I'm going to have to like kind of think about that part of it a little bit more. But I do want to go back to the crocheting thing that Beth alluded to earlier. And I just thought it was so much fun because I really value muscle memory in general, and being able to do things with my hands, like hand-eye coordination kind of things. And so when I found myself like incapable of telling my hands like what to do in order to like crochet properly, it was just a really interesting like realization. Like my hands could not do this, but not only that, but if I didn't actually conceptually understand what I was doing with the wand thing or whatever, in the string or the rubber bands, then I definitely couldn't do it with my hands. But even if I did conceive of what I was doing, then I might not be able to do it with my hands then either. So yeah, it was just really cool. And my mom and I talked about like doing crocheting together in preparation for the next time I can join the crocheting ministry. So it was just really nice. And Beth, you were so helpful with like showing me how all of those things worked and stuff. And I just and Beth showed us this really funny tutorial video about how to crochet. And like for some reason that person was referencing, like, I don't know, holding your fingers or what, like an alligator. Was it about your fingers, or was it?
Yeah. What was that for? Was that for the slip stitch?
Yeah, I think so.
Or no, the slip knot. Yeah.
Oh, was it the slip knot? Oh, okay.
So you put your
Well, after that reference in that video, all I could think about was the wand thing that I was using for crocheting looked like an alligator or some kind of reptile creature.
Oh yeah. Tim's referring to the crochet hook.
Oh, the crochet hook. Okay.
I do like the idea of calling it a wand because it makes it feel more magical.
Oh yes. Magical crocheting.
Yeah.
So besides that, I saw Dune Part 2. And if anybody liked Dune Part 1, then they'll like Dune Part 2 equally, if not more, because it kind of built on some of the philosophical aspects of the first movie. And it was also long and drawn out, so you got to be prepared for that.
Do you need to have seen the first Dune to understand the second Dune?
Absolutely.
I'm asking this knowing I'm not going to watch either of them. But I was just curious. Okay. So you do need to watch the first one.
Yes. And then lastly, I don't have to say much about this, but positive self-talk has been helping me a lot. And I think that's really like a necessary component to having a positive attitude. You can't just have a positive attitude without positive self-talk.
Right.
So with those two things, it's really been making me feel more, I don't know, have more on days rather than off days. So.
Yeah. Positive self-talk is a very important one in my life too that I try to constantly keep
Yes.
going or whatever.
Yeah, the thoughts are moving around and you're making it so they're more positive somehow. Our brains are really amazing, and they can do that somehow.
Yeah.
My tattoo says, you can say the updates in a minute, but I have a tattoo. It's Jason Mraz lyrics, and it says, "I feel quite foolish sometimes when I pray, but my thoughts are all I got, so I try to make them brave." And that's pretty much like, how true is that though? That's all we have is our thoughts.
Yeah.
But what's going on in our brain, that's just our thoughts bouncing around. We might as well try to make them brave.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any updates, Jessica?
Nope.
No updates.
Wait, no updates?
We have a few updates.
You had me going there, Jessica.
So this March 7th, we've got Grief Share at 6 p.m. in the Fireside Room. And then March 16th, the In-Betweeners are going to meet at Denny's at 5:30, and then they're going to go to Seussical the Musical. Just a reminder, Seussical the Musical, the very first set of shows is going to start, is it this weekend?
This week, starting the 8th.
The 8th.
Wow, starting this week. So don't forget to get your tickets. They are not too pricey. They're really good. You can get really good tickets, and
I think they're $20.
Yeah, really a good
adults, and I think if it's 15 for children, and I think maybe veterans or active duty. I can't remember.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
15 as well.
You might be able to get a student discount if you are a student or have a student ID.
You could also get in for free if you wear an invisible cloak and walk past everybody.
And a mustache.
While wearing a mustache. Yes.
There might be an invisible mustache in the play. So for those of you listening, you might want to see if there's an invisible mustache by getting tickets for the play.
Kind of Lorax mustaches. That'd be fun.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, Amber has some.
Of course she does.
She wore one today.
Oh, wow.
The Dr. Seuss Day?
It's
across America. Did I miss it?
It's still going on.
Okay.
It just started.
Next time we see each other, should we? Oh, she does have a mustache.
I love it.
Anyway, but just a couple other quick things, really quick. So, women's retreat, it's confirmed. The dates are April 26th until the 28th at Camp Wrightwood. It's $165 for the weekend. And so the Saturday only option is $55 a person, and you can call the church office for more information, but they need to place the finished registration forms in, by April 12th. So be mindful of that. So April 12th is the last day to register. So make sure you do that. Food for Thought continues on Wednesdays. This Wednesday, there is no kids club.
No kids club. And kids club is usually on the fourth Wednesday of every month. But because there's not going to be Food for Thought on Holy Week, we're going to have it on the third Wednesday this month.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we're making bouncy balls again because the kids really like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
So
that concludes all of the church updates. Feel free to check out the church app or the church website for more information. But I know, Beth, you have something that you'd like to share with us for the history moment.
I actually have two things I would like to share. And the first, I'm going to introduce you to a very special guest who recently just published a book on Amazon, and her name is Jessica Young. Oh, she's here, right?
Oh, wow. She joined us.
And she just published a book of lyrics, and you can get that on Amazon for $18.99.
Wow.
And because every Sunday is a mini Easter, I ordered the book. I'm supposed to not be frivolously spending money, but I celebrated mini Easter yesterday and ordered.
Wow.
So, that is so neat.
What's the
Oh my
book called,
gosh.
Jessica?
It's called Young, Part of My Life in a Few Words. And I said young because that's what I was called in the military. So it kind of just.
Okay.
Wow.
But
that is so.
Their lyrics,
Yeah.
it's only part of my life because it's all of the songs.
I want all of your life.
Okay, well, part 2 will be coming out in the next 10 years.
And more.
But I compiled all of the lyrics I've written since I was in high school that I've put to music. Well, the majority of, I think the last few pages are a short collection of poems that I wrote. And the book is about 79 pages. I couldn't believe how many songs I've written. And I have it broken down into 4 sections, or like 4 parts that are different parts of my life that, led me to writing those songs. And this all stemmed from, I don't know if you guys remember from last week, I had talked about how I wanted to figure out how God could use me and my music and being a songwriter. And I didn't realize, but it's really easy to do this, to write, well, unless you don't have content, but you can publish your independently through Amazon, which is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother did that. He released a poetry book that he wrote. It was a compilation of the poems that he had written since.
Wow.
Yeah. This was probably 10 or so years ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
My brother did that too.
So I feel like I have completely exposed myself basically with my whole life. So I'm kind of nervous because I'm opening all of my vulnerabilities, and I'm sharing a lot about myself. And you can kind of read that in the parts that I've shared, just in the description of the book. And so, because there's probably a lot that people don't know about me. And so, yeah, I think it's exciting to put that out there and then, start focusing on the current part of my life, which is my life with Amber and whatever future we're going to be building. Yeah. So it's really exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's so inspiring, Jessica. I love that you did something so uplifting like that. That's awesome.
Books on Amazon.
Yeah. That inspires me particularly because I've been doing this for years. I've been writing down my ideas in bullet points with dates and things like that. That's like the perfect template if I go through all of that stuff and just put it together in a book and then just publish it. It's kind of like your lyrics, right? You already kind of had the content together. It's just like putting it into a format that people could appreciate. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm finishing up. The hardcover is currently in review because I wanted a hardcover book. That one will be $23.99 because it's a hardcover copy. Yeah. And those tend to be more expensive to make.
Those are worth $5 more than paperback.
Right. And you can throw them in a backpack and they won't get all destroyed.
Yeah. I put a picture on it on the outside compared to just the plain white. So I'm excited to have the contrast of the paperback and then the hardcover. Hardcover is an image that was taken of me while Amber and I were eloping. And it's a really awesome photo. that the photographer caught of me while I was up on a mountain, and it's in black and white, and it's like probably one of the coolest photos that someone has ever taken.
Wow.
And so I have that as the entire cover of the hard
oh wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like a special edition of your book. Get the hardcover with
or it's
so
great great marketing that forces people to purchase both copies.
Yeah. You're gonna be making Taylor Swift money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, Jessica just put the photo up for those of you who are listening. Wow.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
Wow. That's really
and that's a picture. I'm the one standing there.
Oh, that's you. That's not a random person.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, good.
Anyways, it's very exciting. I appreciate you bringing that up. I wasn't planning on talking about myself.
Oh, I'm
way,
sorry. I appreciate
it. Well, what's the second thing, Beth?
Second thing is another email from our super fan, Kathy Ankeny, that is titled,
all right.
The subject is Keep Up the Good Work. And yes. I will read it. Congratulations and thanks again for the wonderful podcasts. They're always filled with wit, wisdom, and a few giggles in the mix. Thank you, Beth. You and Pastor Jim were so thoughtful with your very kind comments about our scripture journaling time together. We had quite the group at Starbucks. I learned a lot and laughed my head off, especially those times when the lessons continued on in the parking lot. I'm so grateful for those days of sharing how God was speaking to us in our lives. I also loved your recent discussion about Will Rogers. Jesus, Will Rogers, and the wonderful Don Morris, guest extraordinaire, all in one podcast. Who could ask for more? I know your millions of fans feel as lucky as I do.
Wow.
I think I remember you dabbling into a discussion of Revelations, and I'd love to share a quote with you from a favorite book of mine titled The Nun, the Infidel, and the Superman by Dame Felicitas, I probably said that wrong, sorry, Corrigan, about the remarkable friendships of Dame Laurentia McLaughlin with Sidney Cockerell and George Bernard Shaw. In it, Shaw writes, the man who wrote the book of Revelations, who was not the John of the fourth gospel, I know he was a drug addict, as all the wickedness of which he accuses God, all the imaginary horrors, all the passings of 1,000 years in a second, and the visions of universes breaking into three pieces. Regular symptoms of drug action and delirium tremens. The book is a disgrace to the Bible and should never have been admitted to the canon.
Whoa.
And then she goes on to say, I admitted to Pastor Jim that G.B. Shaw put into words the feelings I often have when I try to understand what God is saying to me through certain confusing passages in the Bible. And of course, he talked me off the cliffs of insanity with logical and learned explanations. Aren't we a lucky congregation to have the two Pastor J's from the vast flat land of Texas? Your fan, Kathy Ankeny.
Oh, right. Thank you so much, Kathy. That was so thoughtful and nice.
I'm apparently never going to physically reply to your emails, Kathy, and I do apologize for that. But I will publicly acknowledge them on the podcast. So again, for writing.
I think that works. It's a verbal response.
Yes. Verbally responding. Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
Yep. That won't be in my sent folder later, though, which is anyway. Should we talk about the sermon?
Yeah. Somehow we segued into that. Wait, where was the segue?
The segue was when I said, anyway, should we talk about the sermon?
See, that was a direct segue. It wasn't like something related to the content of the last message.
Speaking of replying verbally, let's talk about the sermon verbally.
So, does that... I guess I'll go first, unless somebody wants. Okay. Okay, I'm
Well,
going first.
I think I'm gonna leave the conversation. I just got married and I gotta go.
Oh. Okay. Actually, I'm very angry.
What? Yeah, you're leaving? Oh, yeah. Well, I just bought 5 yokes of oxen, so I need to go tend to those guys. By the way, is that 10 oxen total?
That's 10 oxen total, yeah.
If a yoke is 2 oxen?
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. I'm glad that Pastor Jim explained that because first of all, I always think when I think of yoke, I think of egg yolks, and then I think of Jessica's chickens. So,
That she reads
but no, like the understanding there. And what's really funny about that is when he talked about how the oxen could be like unequal in their pacing and stuff. It reminds me of my 2 dogs. Molly and Ruby, where Molly is always walking in a zigzag formation. We have them tied together so that if one of them runs away, then the other one kind of just gets pulled along, so it's under control. Well, anyway, yeah, I could just imagine you have like a yoke, and one oxen is just like going like to the left, like way the way. You just probably fall down, like your whole. If you have a carriage or something, all your food is just going to go on the floor. Yeah, it was interesting thinking about that.
Because they have to go at the same pace. Anyway, Pastor Jim's sermon was about, I don't remember.
It was
a regrettable meal from Luke
watch it.
chapter 13, verses 15 through 24. And I got a couple takeaways. I was very distracted on Sunday by all of the ways that people excuse themselves from things. I just kind of got stuck with that. And then the only other thing I took away from it was all are welcome, all are invited. Through the cross of Christ Jesus, God has transformed anger into grace. The only judgment is self-imposed by refusing to accept the invitation. Let us keep the feast.
Yeah, that was a really powerful like sentiment from Pastor Jim regarding all are welcome and like basically the idea that our accepting is completely upon us or self-imposed. And that really spoke to me because I was kind of thinking about how like I feel connected with God and have like a lot of faith in my life, and it's really transformed my life. And before this, I think I did just not accept the invitation that God was giving out, like his arms being fully open. I just didn't accept the invitation before I found my faith. So I definitely believe that God is open to everyone. And I think that's a really like liberating and just wonderful and just an amazing thing overall. And so that was a really deep impact for me. And I hope everybody in the whole world thinks that about Christ and God, and that they can come to the message from the Bible and feel uplifted and like they're loved by God. I think we're doing that here in Palmdale UMC. Like we're trying to like spread that message. And so, that is just really a good thing. So that was definitely my key takeaway.
Yeah.
Speaking of excuses, during our scripture journaling at our staff meeting last week, we were talking about different excuses, and because that was the passage that we read, and I was like, now I have more excuses under my belt to get out of things. And it reminded me of the time that I had a craft night, and I made an invite on Facebook, and this was 9 years ago in January, and I was able to search my past things that I've hosted to find my friend's excuse, which to this day still makes me laugh. This is my friend Marlene, who helped with VBS. So Tim and Jessica, you've met her. And so she couldn't come to my craft night, and this was the reason. I was really excited about going. I even bought the jar and beads, but my sister came in from Vegas for the weekend. We are going to see family today. They are slaughtering a pig for us, so we have to be there. Miriam, I think, who hadn't even met Marlene yet at that time, commented, and she said, I'd choose a pig slaughtering over crafts too. Sorry. And that's the last. And so I felt it before, and whenever I just finding it again is always amusing to me.
Oh
now,
my gosh.
Beth, here's my question to you. Do you think that those were totally legitimate excuses, or were they public insults?
Well, I feel like Marlene would not veil insults in a pig slaughtering situation. Just point blank tell me the insults and not try to make them polite or like completely burn me or whatever. So yeah, no, that was why she couldn't come.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to say, oh, you can't come because they're slaughtering a pig in your honor. And they weren't slaughtering it in my honor, Beth. It was just because, I don't know. So, another one you can add to your roster.
Yeah.
Just randomly, I've been going plant-based, like not eating any meat at all since like for Lent. I feel so much better. Like
that's
my
awesome.
joints don't hurt as much because my body's just so messed up from doing weird things in the military, and my body feels so much better and my skin feels better. And I did not realize that was going to be a difference at all.
Wow.
But somehow by not eating meat, my body feels happier inside.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dairy. Jessica.
Or dairy. We haven't been eating any dairy either. So.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, I can relate to that because at some point when I took a long break from keto and then went back on keto, I just feel so much better. And actually, I know for sure that that's the case, not only because of that recent experience, but over the weekend I had like Mexican food and totally broke my keto diet, and I felt terrible yesterday. And so
yeah. Anyway, speaking of the slaughtering of pigs, I had to mention that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
How I'm not eating.
I couldn't remember how we got on that subject.
Yeah. As soon as you started talking about plant-based, I'm like, wait, how did we get onto this? Like Jessica saw a segue that was in there that we didn't see or something, and then we just went with it.
It wasn't. Let's talk about the plant-based diet now, like I said earlier, but with the sermon.
Well, actually, when you think of like yolks of oxen, like an egg yolks, that you could think of scrambled eggs. If going back to food,
yeah. I actually decided that if I can't go to something, people don't need to know an excuse.
Yes. Yeah. I totally agree.
And I've actually been practicing that, like in really stupid ways. They're not stupid, but the other day I almost went to a different store. I was going to Smart and Final, and there were Girl Scouts and like their moms like dancing in front of Smart and Final, trying to get people to buy the cookies. And I was like, I am not in the mood to buy these cookies. I'm just going to go somewhere else. But then I was like, nope, wait a minute. I'm an adult. I can politely say no, thank you, and not buy cookies. And so that's what I did. And then the next day, there was a guy like outside of one of the stores, I think it was Albertsons, and he was trying to get you to sign one of those petitions and, are you a voter and all that. And I didn't want to talk to that guy either. And he was trying to like compliment me. So I would be more likely to sign it like, oh, hey, I like your hat. That's a really good hat. You should come sign that on your way out. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And then I came out and he was like, oh, there's a good woman. You want to sign this? And I was like, in my brain, I was like, your compliments will not break me. And I just politely said, no, thank you, and went to my car. So
wow.
I'm just practicing where I can, setting my boundaries where I can pat myself on the back and go, good job, Beth.
Yeah. That is really valuable, because maybe for politeness or something like that, you could give someone like a legitimately good excuse. But if you can't give them an excuse, just say, yeah, no, thank you, or I can't make it, or I have like just as simple as that, I think is polite in as much as you can, because if you make something up that makes absolutely no sense, that's just insulting. Like,
and honestly, I've stopped trying to make things up. Like if I have made a commitment and then that night I just feel like my social battery is drained and I can't do the thing because I don't want to be around people, that's what I will say to said person. Like, hey, I had a really busy week. My social battery is drained and I'm not going to be any fun or whatever. And I don't do that very often, but I think that's fine to do that. I'm trying to be very respectful of your time, Jessica. Do you have any prayer requests?
Prayer requests are to be a good person. I don't have any specifics, honestly. I mean, I think, if people want to continue praying for our baby journey, you can. I understand it's been an extension, but I think just continuing to trust in God's plan, but also knowing that it's a miracle to accomplish something like that. So if it's happened, there's so many moving parts to that. So, but just continuing to spend time with him. One thing we've been trying to do that I don't know how this happened, but I grew up praying before eating, and the older I got, the more I did not do that. And I don't know why, because as we've been talking about eating with Jesus, that was something like we should always be blessing our food before. And
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, we used to always say, come Lord Jesus, be our guest. Let these gifts to us be blessed.
Oh,
Amen.
wow.
And that was like what we would always say before eating. And I don't know why I haven't really been doing that, but I want to bring that back.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Next week, if you were able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Jessica.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Beth, you can go first if you want.
Well, I downloaded my Fitness Pal, the app on my phone, because I really need to get my eating and exercising in check. And so I downloaded that, and then I logged my meal for breakfast, and then I forgot that I was doing that. I went to the optometrist, and then I really had to go to the bathroom, and we found ourselves in Lucky Luke's because we were going to and it was happy hour, and then I had mini tacos, and I was like, this is not conducive to, but it was like at 3:00. So it was late enough that it could be lunch and dinner. Anyway, just prayers so I can, get a good handle on that and try to be more mindful of my health than I have been lately. Tim?
Yeah, absolutely, Beth. For me, I think a prayer for me to just have confidence to just going back to like way many episodes back, to focus on delayed gratification and do it with the new mindset that I have about like limiting micro rewards and finding enjoyment within the work or thing that I'm trying to achieve, and then looking to the completion of that, or looking to something I'm going to reward myself with, like it could be chocolate milk and donuts or something. So, yeah. So prayers for me to just continue on that path and continue to think positively so that I have a good attitude and I don't just give up on everything and then just like, I don't know, sit there and waste time for 3 hours.
You're 40 and you wonder what went wrong.
Right, exactly. I might be like eating donuts without any sort of like thing, like any sort of work associated with the donuts as a reward. I'm just, constantly eating donuts. I don't know.
Can I change my prayer request to let me constantly be eating donuts? I'm
sure. Let me fix the stone real quick. I have to remove the lettering.
Oh,
my chisel.
That costs extra, doesn't it?
I don't. Oh my God, that's great.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone.
Yeah.
And join us next week. Yeah. And we'll just be eating with Jesus next week too.
Yeah. And who knows, you might find Beth and I at Planet Fitness together to achieve our workout dreams.
Yeah, I'll have donuts. You'll find me somewhere with donuts.
You'll find Tim at Planet Fitness with donuts.
On the bench, not on any workout equipment.
Bench pressing his donut.
Donuts.
Thanks, everybody.
From different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.